Parshas Vayigash, the sixth Aliyah. Yaakov is preparing his family to descend to Mitzrayim to what he knows is the beginning of a long and painful galus. V'yas Yehuda sholach lefanev el Yosef l'hayros lefanav Gaishna. He sends Yehuda ahead to Yosef to prepare Gaishan, the place where they will stay. Of course, as Rashi explains, the way a Jew prepares a place is that he establishes a yeshiva to learn Torah. We finally come to the great reunion. Just imagine the second most powerful man in the world, with all of the pomp and circumstance, coming to greet his father, from whom he was ruthlessly torn 22 years earlier. An old man who believed for so long that his beloved son, the firstborn son of his beloved wife, was killed, finally reunited. Yosef comes off his chariot and he goes up to his father and he sees his father. And he falls on his father's neck and cries. The second in command of the most powerful nation in the world, a man in his high 30s, in the prime of his life. The epitome of strength, wisdom, and sophistication is reduced to a small child crying on the neck of his father. His father who never left his mind, his father whose image stayed with him and guided him during the most trying times, the loneliest times, was finally there in front of him. Rashi points out that there is no mention of Yaakov crying, and that is because he was saying Kriya Shema at the time. We'll discuss more about that in the bonus video. Yisrael says to Yosef, Amusa apam, now I would die, after I have seen your face that you are still alive. Yosef tells his brothers and his father's household that he will go up to Parai and tell him that his family from Canaan have arrived, and they are shepherds, and that they brought all of their sheep and cattle along with them. Yosef tells his family that when Parai asks, what is your profession? Tell them that you are shepherds. From your youth until now, even your ancestors were shepherds. This way you will live in Goshen. The Mitzrayim are repulsed by shepherds. And Yosef came to Parai and told him, my father and brothers came with all of their cattle and all of their possessions and are now in Goshen. He took 5 of his brothers and presented them to Parai. As expected, Parai asked them, what do you do? They replied as Yosef instructed, that they and their ancestors have always been shepherds. They explained that they came to Mitzrayim because, due to the hunger in Canaan, there was no pasture for their animals. They requested to settle in Goshen. Parai now tells Yosef, your father and brothers came to you. The entire land of Mitzrayim is before you. Give them the best. Settle them in Goshen, and if any of them are qualified, put them in charge of my cattle. Yosef brought his father in front of Parai, and Parai gave him a bracha. Parai asks Yaakov, how old are you? And Yaakov replied, I am 130 years old. I've had a difficult life. I was not zeicha to attain the fulfillment that my fathers attained in their lives. Yaakov concludes with a bracha to Parai, and he leaves from Parai. The Psukim then go through all of the names of Yaakov's family. The Bechor of Yaakov is Ruvain, who had 4 sons, Chanoich, Palu, Chetzron, and Carmi. Shimon had 6 sons, Yemuel, Yamin, Ohad, Yachin, Soichar, and Shaul ben Aknanis. Levi had 3 sons, Gershon, Kahas, and Merari. Yehuda had 5 sons, Oinan, Shelah, Peretz, and Zerach. And Oinan died in Canaan, so he was left with 3, and Peretz had 2 sons, Chetzron and Chamad. Yisachar had 4 sons, Taila, Puva, Yaiv, and Shimron. Zvulun had 3 sons, Sered, Elon, and Yachliel. These are the children of Leah, who were born to Yaakov in Padan Aram, plus his daughter Dinah, for a total of 33. If you count them, you'll only get 32, and Rashi explains that the 33rd was Yecheved, the daughter of Levi, who was born at the entrance to Mitzrayim. Her name isn't mentioned, but she's included in the count. God had 7 sons, Tzifyoin, Chagi, Shuni, Etzboin, Eri, Araidi, and Areli. Asher had 4 sons, a daughter, and 2 grandsons, Yimna, Yishva, Yishvi, Bria, and Serach, their sister. Bria had 2 sons, Chever and Malkiel. These are the children of Zilpah, who Lavan gave to Leah, his daughter. She gave birth to these children to Yaakov for a total of 16 people. Rachel, the wife of Yaakov, had 2 sons, Yosef and Binyamin. Yosef was married to Osnas bas Potifera Koyenoim and had 2 sons, Menashe and Ephraim. Binyamin had 10 sons, Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Echi, and Rosh, Mupim, Chupim, and Ard. These are the children that Rachel had for Yaakov for a total of 14. Dan had a son, Hushim. Naphtali had 4 sons, Yachzeel, Guni, Yetzer, and Shilem. These are the children of Bilhah that Lavan gave to his daughter Rachel. She gave birth to these children for Yaakov for a total of 7 people. All of the descendants of Yaakov that came with him to Mitzrayim, besides for his sons' wives, totaled 66. Yosef had 2 sons, so the complete family of Yaakov totaled 70, again including Yecheved.